trouble hearing you. You sound very far away.
I am. I'm in Orlando. Where are you at?
I'm so sorry. No, I can hear you much better now, sir. The volume seems like it was very low before. Thank you.
That's all right. It's my fault. What's your name?
My name is Joy, ID 204822.
All right.
I will be your Mandarin interpreter.
All right. And can you raise your right hand? Mandarin? Do you swear to interpret from Mandarin to English and English to Mandarin the best of your ability, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Can we get the co-defendant out too? Ma'am, do you speak English or do you need an interpreter?
Better having
Interpreter? Mandarin? All right. All right, Madam Interpreter, we have a domestic violence case. Each individual is listed as a victim and a defendant. I believe they both need the interpreter. So once we get him out, we'll get started.
Yes, sir.
Did you have your shake? What did you think of it? I like them. I brought a whole box for the week. All right, Madam Interpreter, if you could ask them to both raise their right hand to be sworn.
请你们两位都举起右手，准备来宣誓。
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
在神的监视下，您发誓您会说实话，句句实话，只讲实话吗
Yes.
Right.
？Yes.
All right. May I have your name?
你的名字叫什么？
For me, Yuan, Y-U-A-N, last name Zhu, Z-H-U.
I don't know. Your name, ma'am.
YUJIAOCHEN.
And your name, sir?
Yuan, Y-U-A-N, last name Zhu, Z-H-U.
All right, sir, you are here in case number 22MM58AO, battery domestic violence.
先生，您今天所以你今天在这里是关于22MM58AO 这个就是说家庭暴力的案子。
Ma'am, you are here in case number 22MM57AO, battery domestic violence.
小姐，您在这里是关于22MM57AO， 也是一个家庭暴力的案子。
You are both listed as defendants and victims against each other.
你们互相就说你们两个在这个案子里的话，都是属于就说对方的被告，还有就是受害者。
Ma'am, were you interested in representing yourself, hiring a private attorney, or seeing if you qualify for the public defender?
I will find my own attorney. I will find my own lawyer.
He's a sir. Did I say sir or ma'am?
You said ma'am.
For me?
小姐，请问您是打算要代表您自己，还是你是要自己找律师，还是你是想要看您是否符合条件，能够就是说找一个政府指定的律师？
自己找一个律师。
I like to find my own attorney.
Sir, same question to you. Did you want to represent yourself, hire an attorney, or see if you qualify for the public defender?
我自己找一个律师。
I like to find my own attorney.
Okay. So the purpose of today's hearing is to determine if there is a valid reason for your arrest.
今天听证的目的是要来判断你被逮捕的是否就是以合理的情况下被逮捕。
And to determine conditions of your release.
之后也是来判断关于释放的条件。
Right now, you both do not have a bond and you cannot get out of jail.
现在你们2位都没有任何的保释，所以你们没办法可以离开监牢。
If you would like, we can have the hearing today without lawyers, so I can give you a bond to get out of jail.
如果你想要的话，今天我们可以没有律师在场的情况下，之后有听证，这样子才能够判断关于离开监牢的这个保释条件。
Or I can continue this case to tomorrow for you to find a lawyer, but you'll stay in jail till tomorrow.
或者是这个案子可以延后到明天，这样子的话，给你们一个机会找律师之后到时候再，但是这个情况下的话，你们会在监牢里过一夜。
If you decide to go forward today without a lawyer, you can hire a lawyer at any point in time after today.
所以如果到时候就说你们是决定说想要今天没有律师代表的情况下继续做听证的话，你们可以就说在今天过后的任何的一个时候找律师代表自己。
Ma'am, do you want to go today without a lawyer and get a bond, or wait till tomorrow?
小姐，您是希望今天就是你想要今天就是没有律师代表的情况下之后没有一个保释可以出去，还是你想要等到明天？
今天保释。
I'd like to get a bond today.
Sir, do you want to go forward today without a lawyer or come back tomorrow?
我想今天保释。
I'd like to get a bond today as well.
All right. Ma'am, do you two live together?
小姐，请问你们2个是住在一起的吗？
Like broke up in September. I fired him to me, and he left the home September 16th. So this 3 months I stay with our 2 dogs at home. He just live with other woman, our neighbor.
Madam Interpreter, if you could ask her if she needs the services of the interpreter.
请问你还需要翻译服务吗？
就是我们
I'm sorry. I
需要
and okay, I do need it. Yes.
Okay. Make sure that when you respond, it's in Mandarin and not in English.
好，那这样您回答的时候，请就是用中文回答，不要用英文。
So the question is, do you live together? And the answer is either yes or no.
所以，我刚刚问的问题是：你们是住在一起吗？这个就是一个简单的是或不是的答复。
现在没有。
Not now.
Do you want to have contact with him?
你想要跟他有保持联系吗
不想。
？No.
State, do you have any questions for her?
你有没有州政府的话有没有什么问题要问他的？
No, Your Honor.
All right.
法官没有。
Sir, do you want to have contact with her?
No.
先生，
But 但是由于那个房子也是我的，但是我有很多我的个人物品还在那个房子里边，我有的时候我也是会回去住的。
The thing is that house is also mine as well. I have a lot of personal effects that's still in the house, and so sometimes I do go back there to live.
另外我搬出来的原因是因为他妈妈曾经写过一封信，威胁说要杀死我，而且他曾经也会打我，所以这是我搬出来的原因。但是我还是会回去拿东西的。
And the reason that I moved out is because her mother had written a letter threatening to kill me, and also she has hit me as well. And so that's the reason why I moved out. But sometimes I go back to pick up my things.
who lives at 11707 address?
谁住在这个11707这个地址呢？
我们两个。
Me, us two.
State, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
State, any input with regards to release?
I didn't know she was going to interpret that.
I don't know either.
Your Honor, state would just ask for separate residences on both. In case the male co-defendant has ties to the community, state would just ask for separate residences on both and allow this to be figured out at a later time with no contact, as both do not want contact.
好，那所以法官问州政府问州立的代表说他有什么建议呢？州立代表是说，就是他们的建议是说到时候双方应该要分开来住，而且就是尤其就是说男方就是在别的地方也是有地方住的话，他们建议是分开来住之后不要有联系。
Do you work together?
你们在一起工作吗？
我
Okay. All right. I'll set your bonds each at $100.
好，那我现在设定就是你们各个的保释金都是100块。
As conditions of your release, you are not to have any kind of contact with each other.
所以释放的一个条件就是你们不能够跟任何双方不能够联系。
Ma'am, you are going to reside at the 11707 address.
之后小姐您到时候会住在11707的这个地址。
Sir, you can return once with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that you need.
先生，你可以就说有一次可以回去，但是需要有就是他们像警察的陪伴的情况下，一次回去那边取你的东西走。
You are not allowed to possess any guns, knives, or weapons, either of you.
OK， 所以你们任何一方的话都不可以拥有任何的枪、刀子或武器。
If you need to make any changes, you need to see the judge that is assigned to this case.
如果你需要做任何的改变的话，到时候你会需要见完后这个案子会有另外指定一个法官，你会需要找他。
If you have any questions, hire a lawyer once you get out of jail, and they'll be able to help you.
如果有任何问题的话，等到你从监牢释放出去以后，请找律师，说律师能够协助你们。
Do you have any questions, ma'am?
小姐，你有没有什么问题想要问的呢？
没有，谢谢。
No, thank you.
Do you have any questions, sir?
我现在拥有的武器有怎么处理？
In regards to the weapons that I do have at the moment, what do I do with those?
So you need to, do you live in Windermere?
In the garden.
Winter Garden. You need to hand those over to the Winter Garden Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
And then once this case is resolved, you can go and get them back.
您倒是，
我应该去哪儿去上交呢？
Where do I go and turn this in?
To the Winter Garden Police Station,
got it.
but don't walk in there with all your guns.
OK， 您是会需要事先去一趟 Winter's Garden 警察局那里，先让他们知道，不要第一次就把武器一起带进去。
好的。
OK。
I'll give you 48 hours from your release to do that.
到时候会从 会给你从你释放时间算起48小时的时间去做安排。
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam
Yeah.
Interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor, for using our services. Have a good day.
You too, bye-bye.
Thank
What's
you.
your name, ma'am?
Bye.
What is it? Contreras? Spanish? What? Espanol?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Alan Figueroa, State Certified Spanish Code Interpreter, already sworn.
All right. Mr. Figueroa, just let me know once you make contact through the headphones.
Sí.
Already done, Your Honor.
All right. Your name and date of birth, ma'am?
Patricia Carola Burgos, 11 de junio de 1990.
Patricia Corolla Burgos, June 11th of 1990.
You were here in case number 22 CF 83AO, one count of child abuse and one count of false imprisonment, domestic violence. Is there anybody here for this case? All right, ma'am, I reviewed the affidavit. I found probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Any input from the state with regards to release?
Your Honor, she is entitled to bond on both of these charges. State would just have you take into account the age of the victim, I believe was approximately 15, and her out-of-state history from Puerto Rico. It appears she has previous arrests for abuse and neglect, 2 counts, aggravated robbery, attempted murder, and aggravated weapons laws. Since they're from Puerto Rico, I do not have access to the dispos on those or other dates. However, state would have you take into account prior violent history as well as her loose community ties. It appears her time at her residence has been 1 week or less. So we ask you to take that into account when setting the bond.
Any input from this defense?
Your Honor, only that my client is currently unemployed, so I just ask that you take that into account.
All right. All right, I'll set your bond on count 1 at $2,500, count 2 at $100. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the scene. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. I don't recall if DCF was involved, were they?
Your Honor.
If DCF makes any recommendations regarding contact with your son, you can follow those. So if they say that contact is okay, then you can have contact with them. If you have any questions, make sure you talk to your lawyer. Thank you. All right, I think we're to. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. I believe that's our only Spanish case this morning.
Okay, not a problem, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Burrow. All right, your name, sir?
Andrew Zimzoris.
All right, and counsel, your name?
Philip Roy on behalf of Mr. Zimzoris.
All right, 15 CF 15185BO. We rolled this from yesterday to today to try and get some more information from the state attorney that's assigned to the case or was assigned to the case. Did we work anything out?
Yes, Your Honor. After discussions with the state, it's my understanding the state's going to be announcing the dismissal.
State?
That is correct, Your Honor. State has no objection to a dismissal.
All right, anything else holding them up?
No, Your Honor.
All right, see you later. Hey, do you need him for anything? Yeah, what do you have? Is it something with me directly or? Yeah, here, just, let me see it. No. They don't have any room for her out here, just me. Yeah. Well, they got two other judges back there already. Judge Dubois and Judge Bain are back there. Oh, Latimer. Yeah, so we're not gonna. Now, the JAs, I guess this is new. I'm the first one to do this, so My Jay is sitting in my office, in her office downtown. Yeah. So I'll take a look at this right now. All right, your name?
Mayo de la Cruz.
All right, 2022 CF 41AO, one count of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, one count of aggravated assault with a firearm, one count of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm. Were you able to find a lawyer between yesterday and today?
No, sir.
No? Did you have access to a phone? Did you have an ability to call anyone?
No, sir.
Okay,
Your
all right.
Honor, I believe, there's an attorney that the family reached out to, Miss Marilyn Glover.
She was
However,
here yesterday for something else, right?
correct, but she has a conflict, so she wasn't able to make it today. She stated that she would prefer to have her Arthur hearing in the trial division. That was
Are
the,
you her co-counsel?
no, Your Honor. I just wanted to relay the message, to the court, because I got an email from her.
All right, thank you. You did fill out a application with the public defender. Do you want the public defender to represent you today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then obviously if things change, your family can hire a private attorney. All right, so I'll go ahead, I'll appoint the office of the public defender. Any input, review the affidavit, found probable cause, any input from the state with regards to release?
Your Honor, he is entitled to a bond on all three counts. Count 1 and count 3 are both F1s. And state would just ask that you take into account the proximity of the alleged victims in this case. I believe they are the defendant's neighbors. The state would also have you take into account the arguable tampering charge within this, that he threw the gun in the field near his residence when they later found the gun in his house. There was also an independent witness who also corroborated the victim's statements. And the only other thing state would ask that you take into account is he does have prior convictions, however, they do appear to be from several years ago.
All right, any input from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor, I would just argue that it does not appear he has any type of violent history in his past. He has community ties, been in the Orlando area for over a year, and he has no failures to appear, so I just ask that you take all of that into consideration when setting the bond amount.
All right, set count 1 at $30,000, count 2 at $150, count 3 at $150. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Are you guys neighbors?
Yes, sir.
All right. So how are you going to get home without having any contact with them?
I might
It goes down because the intent goes back up.
I'm sorry?
So I'm gonna try to call somebody.
Okay.
You're going to try and live with somebody?
I'm going to try to call somebody.
Oh, call someone. Okay. All right. All right. Good luck. Your name, sir?
I'm Derek Cooper.
All right, Mr. Cooper, 2021 CF 16030 AO, one kind of aggravated battery on a pregnant person, dating violence via arrest warrant. According to this warrant, your bond is set at no bond with conditions, no contact with the victim, no alcohol or non-prescription drugs, no possession of weapons, guns, knives, anything like that. I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Is there anyone here for Derek Cooper? Derek Cooper? All right, any input from the state?
Your Honor, state would just ask that you take into account, he does have prior BAT DVs and at least 4 prior VOPs showing an inability to comply with court orders, as well as he is currently on probation, I believe out of Lake County.
All right. Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set his bond at $3,500. I'll stay the conditions. Do you guys live together?
No, we do
Okay,
not.
all right. You just need to maintain a separate residence, no contact, no guns, no drugs, no alcohol. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Your name?
Ron Davis Rush.
All right, sir, 2022 CF 84 AO, one kind of possession of methamphetamine, one kind of possession of drug paraphernalia, one kind of battery, dating, violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Is there anybody here for Mr. Davis Rush? All right. Raise your hand if you can hear me out there.
Your Honor, I
Okay.
think- oh, I'm sorry. I believe she was arrested too, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe they potentially were going to, however, I don't believe.
Which
they
one
have
was this
affidavit.
one? Oh, yeah, she's here. Yeah, she gave a different name. Can we grab her? It's,
I think it's
what
Marilyn
was her? Marilyn,
Torres.
what was it? Because she gave a couple different names.
I think it's Marilyn Torres.
Yeah, Marilyn Marie Torres. Thank you.
It's a lot of co-defendants today.
It's a lot.
Like 3 sets of co-defendants.
All right, ma'am, your name? All right, you were here, Ms. Torres, in 2022 CF 86AO. It's one count of possession of methamphetamine, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, one count of battery, dating violence, one count of resisting officer without violence, one count of providing false ID to a law enforcement officer. You're also here on a violation of community control as well in 2020 CF 6202AO. I think that's out of Orange County as well. I reviewed your affidavit on your new law offenses. I found probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. All right, so you're both listed as defendants and you're both listed as victims, okay? Ms. Torres, do you guys live together?
We stay together.
Okay. Do you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
All right. All right. Are you in fear for your safety?
No.
All right. State, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, do you want to have contact with her?
Yes.
Okay. Do you live together?
Yes.
Okay. Are you in fear for your safety?
Not at all.
All right. State, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
All right. State, any input with regards to release, you can give it to me on both of them.
Your Honor, state we just asked for a reasonable bond on both. However, I believe Ms. Torres will be here on a no bond due to the community control violation. State just asked for a reasonable bond on both, given that both have fairly limited criminal history.
Right.
It doesn't appear they have prior DVs. So state we just asked for a reasonable bond.
All right. Defense?
Your Honor, I would just ask for a no hostile contact order, in this case, given the testimony here today, and that's it, Your Honor.
All right. So, when you get arrested for DV, is there a no contact order that's put into place, or did they not give you that no contact order until you see me?
I believe it's done at IA, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So, Mr. Davis Rush, I'm going to stay your bond on count 1 at 1,000, count 2 100, count 3 100. No hostile contact. No hostile contact means no physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, and do not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol or illegal drugs. Ms. Torres, count 1 is set at $1,000, count 2 $100, count 3 $100, count 4 $100, count 5 $100. No hostile contact with the alleged victim. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Do not possess or consume any drugs, illegal drugs or alcohol. On your violation of community control, though, your bond is set at no bond on that case, okay? Thank you. All right, sir, your name?
My name Paul Hacker.
All right, sir, you're out on bond on operating a motor vehicle without a valid license, 17 CT 390AO. You're here today, and 22 CF 76AO, false imprisonment, battery, dating violence. Is there anyone here for Paul Yakis? No? I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender, found probable cause. Any input from the state?
Your Honor, state we just asked you to take into account, he does have a prior history of battery DV. Here's the latest one was a 2021 misdemeanor non-arrest for,
Yeah, on probation right now, too?
yes, he is, Your Honor, for cocaine out of
Cocaine.
Orange.
Yeah.
It was gonna ask that you find an on view for that. I do believe the probation officer was notified by the officer on scene, so I do believe that would be impending anyway. So state just asked for a reasonable bond, taking into account he does have prior DV arrests, and that he is on probation and out on bond.
All right. And defense?
No comments from defense, Your Honor. He's likely gonna be violated.
All right, on the operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, I'll revoke your release in that case, issue a new bond of $2,000. On your new case, the false imprisonment, I'll set your bond at $1,000. On count 1, 100 on count 2, no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. And then in your 2020
CF
battery,
5045.
thank you. That is set at no bond, okay? And I'll appoint the public defender on that case as well for you.
20 CF 5045.
45, that's no bond. On view? Yeah, on view, baby. All right, your name, sir?
Daryl May.
You're here in 2022 CF 73AO, one kind of battery, and one kind of battery dating violence. We have anyone here for that case? No, she stood up. All right. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Hire attorney.
Okay. All right, so the purpose of today's hearing is really twofold. One, for me to review the arrest affidavit and make a determination if there's.
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
So the hearing today, what you're here for right now, we do two things. One, I take a look at the arrest affidavit and I make a determination if there was a valid reason for your arrest. All right? If I do make that determination that there was a valid reason for your arrest, then I determine conditions of your release, give you a bond. All right? So you can go forward today without a lawyer, and we can do that, or I can roll this to tomorrow, give you 24 hours to hire a lawyer, but you'll stay in jail during that 24 hours. So you want to go forward today without a lawyer? Okay. All right, I reviewed the affidavit. I found probable cause. Any input from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. State would ask that you take into account his criminal history. It does appear that he did have a AGBAT DV and F2 earlier this year, as well as a prior burg dwelling with assault or battery and a BAT DV. Also, I believe that was earlier in 2021. As well as an ag assault with a firearm and assault. He also has several VOP showing an inability to comply with court order and a prior failure to appear. And the allegations within the affidavit are incredibly troubling to the state, Your Honor. It appears that the victim suffered many injuries, including an incident that she said occurred, appears in October of 2021, where she ended up having her arm broken. In this incident, I believe she had a large gash above her eye, and bruising on her face as well as shoulders, and had to be taken to Dr. Phillips, as well as another scar. So we just ask that you take all that into account in setting bond, as it seems to be an ongoing issue between this victim and this defendant, and I do believe he is currently also on probation.
All right, yeah, I think I signed a VOP for him this morning. So, sir, obviously as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So it makes it a little difficult when you represent yourself. The state's given me some information and is asking me to set a bond commensurate with that information. Is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think I should consider in setting your bond and conditions of your release?
Last incident, she did the same thing. Nothing, whatever she said on the last time I had got in trouble, she went herself and what she said, what happened, she didn't put none of that on the police report, that she came to my house with a weapon. She never put none of that stuff on there. So the judge had dropped the case because at the end of the day, she was wrongfully even coming to my house. She lied on the whole affidavit. On this paperwork, on this arrest, she lied once again. I don't know what you guys have. I haven't read my affidavit at all.
I mean, it says that you hit her and she went to the hospital and got 15 stitches.
No, see, we were showered.
Don't talk about the facts.
I've given him a warning. You're not his lawyer.
I'm sorry.
He's an adult. Are you over 18?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what I said?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, all right. Anything else? Okay. All right. Set your bond on count 1 at $3,500, count 2 at $100. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You are on probation for basically a DUI. I think I set a bond on that at 10,000 for a VOP this morning. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I did that, okay? All right, thank you. Your name, sir?
Johnny Allen.
All right, sir, 2022 MM 60AO, one count of battery, domestic violence. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender.
This is a co-defendant case.
All right.
I believe the next co-defendant, Ms. Allen, also.
I don't remember this one. What was this one? Oh, yeah. Yep. All right, ma'am, your name?
Tracy Allen.
All right, 2022 MM 61AO. You're here in one kind of battery, domestic violence review. That affidavit found probable cause, appoint the public defender. They both have the public defender, Miss Allen. Do you want to have contact with Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir.
Do you guys live together?
Yes, sir.
Do you want him to come home?
Yes, sir.
All right. State, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Allen, do you want to have contact with Miss Allen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you live together?
Yes, sir.
Do you want her to come home?
Yes, sir.
Are you in fear for your safety?
Yes, sir.
All right. State, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
State, do you have any input for both of these individuals?
No, Your Honor, given both of their testimony, and I believe both of them have very, very limited history, if not old history, so we just ask for no hostile and reasonable bonds on each case.
Defense?
The same, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set your bonds each at $100, no hostile contact with the alleged victim. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, your name?
Julio Jones.
All right, so you're here in 2022 MM 56AO on one count of battery, domestic violence, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public, yeah, and appoint the public defender to represent you. You don't have a key to get her in?
I believe you have a button under the desk, Your Honor.
I have a button? I don't know about this button. This button right here? I don't know, something right there. Oh, it's. She's the one doing it.
Wow.
There we go. We're gonna practice in between sessions. All right, ma'am, your name?
Gabrielle Durante.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Gabrielle Durante.
I thought I had somebody else. Is it Daniela Durante?
Gabrielle.
Were you a victim in this case? And are you Odell Jones?
Your Honor, I believe it was a Scribner's error. On the victim sheet, it has Gabrielle. In the affidavit, it has Danielle. I believe it was a Scribner's error.
All right, ma'am, is there anything that you want to tell me?
I just want you to release him. It was just a misunderstanding. I told them at the scene I didn't want him to go to jail. There was no real reason for him to go to jail.
Do you guys live together?
No.
Do you want to have contact with him?
It doesn't matter to me.
It does not matter to you? Okay. All right, State, do you have any questions for her?
Are you afraid of him?
No.
And in regards to the judge's comment about if you want contact with him, yes or no?
It's fine, yeah.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, any questions for her?
No questions, Your Honor.
Any input from the state?
Your Honor, state will leave it within your discretion, given the victim's testimony.
Any input from the defense?
Your Honor, I would ask for no hostile contact order, given there is no history, and they do not reside together. Anyway, Your Honor.
Do you know if he wants PTR or a bond?
Your Honor, I would ask for a $100 bond, given he has no history. My client has community ties. He's been in the area for over a year, but he is unemployed. So at this point, he can only afford a $100 bond.
All right, I'll set his bond at $250. No hostile contact with the alleged victim. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. All right, your name?
Sorry?
Your name?
Earl Logan.
All right, sir, 22MM62AO, one count of battery, domestic violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
Your Honor, state we just asked for a reasonable bond. I believe the defendant gave a very similar story to the victims and had to be seen by OP or Orlando Fire. State would just ask for a bond, taking that into account.
Any input from the defense?
Your Honor, in this case, given he has no criminal history other than a failure to register, I would ask for a $500 bond.
All right, set his bond at $500, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Your name?
Kenneth Michaelis.
All right, sir, you're here in 2022 MM52AO, one count of battery, domestic violence. Ma'am, your name?
Monica Grant.
All right. I'll review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Ma'am, you're listed as the alleged victim in this, and maybe even, wait, no. Is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think I should consider in determining conditions of his release?
Just that I'm okay for him to come home. We live together, and I would like for him to go to a treatment facility, actually.
Okay.
But I'm okay with contact. Actually, that's probably better in this scenario for his safety.
When you say treatment, is it for alcohol?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's got a 2020 DUI in Alaska and a 2021 DUI?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. State, do you have any questions for her?
Ma'am, are you afraid of him?
No.
If anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
Yeah, if it did.
And you do want him to come home?
Yes, I do.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Do you guys live in Florida or live in Alaska?
We live here now. We just moved about 3 weeks ago.
All right. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor, other than taking into account his previous history and the allegations in this affidavit, which are pretty troubling.
Any input from the defense?
Your Honor, I would ask for no hostile contact order. They just recently moved here. The victim testified she would be willing to call law enforcement if it happened again. So given that, I would ask for a $500 bond as well, Your Honor.
All right. I'll set his bond at $750. No hostile contact with the alleged victim. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Is it just alcohol or? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So, ma'am, if he consumes any alcohol, you can contact, who would she contact about that?
Police Department, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes,
And
sir.
so you understand, sir, that if you violate the conditions of your release, we'll just bring you back in here and let you sit in here and sober up, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Thank you for being here, ma'am. Your name, sir?
Sian Samuel.
All right, 2022 MM54AO, one count of battery, domestic violence. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
Your Honor, state we just asked for a reasonable bond. Arguably, there could have also been a child abuse charge. State we just asked for a reasonable bond at this time.
Any input from the defense?
Your Honor, given that he qualifies for pretrial release, I would ask for pretrial release. In conjunction, I would ask that you consider the fact that he only has petty thefts, no violent criminal history, in this case.
So I don't feel comfortable with the PTR without the input from the victim.
I would ask.
But I do know that looks like it's been about 20 years since you've gotten in trouble. Does that sound about right? Yeah, all right.
If we can do a PTR and a small monetary bond, Your Honor?
How much is a small monetary bond?
I would ask for PTR and a $100 bond, Your Honor.
So even if I set $1,000 bond, he still only has to pay $100 to get out, right?
Yes, that's fine, Your Honor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna set him $1,000 bond, but,
Oh.
you know. All right. I'll set your bond at $500. No contact with the alleged victim. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay? All right.
Your Honor, state would also ask for no contact with the witness in this case, given that there was a child that was also allegedly,
Who's the witness?
it was his child, Sion Samuel Jr. No contact with witness.
Oh, okay.
Where does it say that the kid witnessed it?
That was the beginning of this. Mr. Samuel allegedly hit their son, Samuel Jr., causing his head to hit the wall, and that made the victim get.
DCF gets involved, you gotta follow whatever DCF recommendations are, all right? If they don't, then they don't get involved. Hold on, yeah. What's your question?
She said that
Talk to your lawyer real quick. You got 10 seconds. All right. Thank you.
He's just correcting the name, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's all.
We got it. Thank you. Another job for you. All right, your name?
Hassan Suhada.
All right, sir, 2022 MM53AO, one count of battery, domestic violence, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. And then your name?
Mahadi Omar.
All right, and your name?
Fatima Kausar.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Fatima Kausar.
All right. So you're Mr. Mahadi Omar?
Yes.
All right. You're listed as the alleged victim in this case. Is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think the court should consider in determining conditions of his release?
I don't think you should put a bond or a punishment on him because in that situation, it could be, it's like a form of discipline. I don't have any bruises on me. There isn't any major damage on my body. And yeah, it's because, yeah, it's discipline. And he hit me because I didn't follow what he asked me to do. So, yeah.
Nate, do you have any questions for him?
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Do you want him to come home?
Yeah.
What?
He wanna come home with us.
Yes.
I wanna take him.
Yes. I'm gonna take him home.
Ma'am, I'll give you an opportunity after we're done with this gentleman.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you're not listed as the witness, but you're listed as the one of the parents for this individual. Is there anything that you want to tell me?
Their brother, little, he's older and he's younger. They play together always, and they love each other. So even playing is hardly like, but this is not, I don't know. I don't call police. I don't know has happened, who called police. Then my daughter, he was playing, he thought they are fighting. He called police, but she called police. He don't call police, we don't call police, we don't want to. And police make me to sign. I don't know why. I don't call police.
State, do you have any
And
questions
he's
for
the
her?
only one person to earn for us, the job for us. And why police took him?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
That's why I want to take him with us. Otherwise, we have problem. We have no other one.
All right, state, any input?
State would just have you take into account, he did have a prior conviction for written threats to kill approximately 2 years ago.
He's fine. Alhamdulillah, he don't have any injury or anything.
All right, defense, any input?
Your Honor, I just ask that you consider the facts of this case. It did appear in the arrest affidavit that it was a form of punishment. And given the testimony here today, I would just ask for a no hostile contact order.
All right, set your bond at $500, no hostile contact with the alleged victim. Sir, do you want him to come home or not come home?
Yes, come home.
Ma'am, do you want him to come home or not come home?
Yeah, he will come. He have to come home with us. And no bond because we don't have money.
Okay. All right, no hostile contact with the alleged victim. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Do you understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you for being here. Your name?
David Velez.
2022 MM59AO. You're here on one count of battery, domestic violence. Mr. Velez, according to your financial affidavit, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. The public defender is for individuals that are indigent that cannot afford a lawyer. So, the purpose of today's hearing is twofold. One, for me to review the arrest affidavit and make a determination if there is probable cause or a valid reason for your arrest. And if I do make that determination, then to determine conditions of your release, okay? Bond, whether or not contact is appropriate, not appropriate, some form of limited contact, things of that nature. So you can either go forward today without a lawyer, or I can continue this hearing to tomorrow, give you 24 hours to hire a lawyer, but understand that between now and then, you'll stay in jail. And then you can hire a lawyer at any point after today's hearing.
I'll represent myself.
Okay, all right. All right, I reviewed the affidavit. I found probable cause. Ma'am, your name?
Shayla Colon.
All right. Ma'am, is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think the court should consider?
Yes, I want him to come home. I made a mistake. I called the police and didn't even hear him out when he threw the ring at me. It was just, he didn't even throw it at me. He just threw it and it hit me by mistake. He's wonderful. We just got married. And I really don't think he deserves to be there at all.
All right. State, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Velez, is there anything, understand that as a defendant, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, so you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Is there anything that you want me to consider in determining conditions of your release?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Would you rather post a monetary bond to be released or be released on a pretrial release program where you don't have to pay a bond, but you would be monitored similar to probation?
I guess I'll pay the bond.
All right. All right, I'll set your bond at $500. No hostile contact with the alleged victim. No hostile contact means no physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you for being here, ma'am. Out of county warrants, is that where we're at? Are we done with our DVs?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Do we have anybody left? How about Eliantis? Bonded? All right. And then Heather Paris. Medical. All right, 2020 CF 10056 EO, it says. I'll appoint the public defender.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right. And this is, so she's on drug offender probation out of Orange. Okay, according to this, she said at no bond. Is that it for the first session? Oh, it's the 33 days now?
And Your Honor, I know you had an add-on. When would you like that to be heard? Your JA said an add-on for a
Oh.
plea?
A plea today? I don't know, do we got the add-on person?
Is that first session or second? With arraignments, okay.
With arraignments? We'll do it with arraignments. Good plan.
Sounds good.
All right. How about Brantley Nikhil Smith, 21 MM 8532 AO?
That was 8532?
8532.
It was filed, Your Honor.
All right. That'll be denied. Stacy McCullough, 21 CF 15253 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Doris Strickland, 21 CF 15382 AO.
Denied and information was filed.
Mark Schaller, 21 CF 14792 AO.
Denied and information was filed.
Jerron Williams, 21 CF 15391 AO.
Denied and information was filed.
James Timothy Pollard Jr., 21 CF 15408 AO.
Granted, and this is the one state added
Release to be at 6 PM if no info filed.
on 1-5, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that part's not on there. So on tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah, it has on 1-5, but it's just at 6 PM on 1-5 if no info.
21 CF 13750 AO, Brantley Nikhil Smith.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Vaquan Christopher Thomas, 21 CF 15352 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Pedro Ernesto Ellis, 21 CF 14670 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Ryan Norberto Perez Baez, 21 CF 14034 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Kelton Kashawn Little, 21 CF 15665 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Melvin Jermaine Gray, 21 CF 15351 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
You want to keep this party going? Okay. How much time do you need?
The same amount, 15 minutes just to relay the offers.
All right. All right.
If that, I think.
No. Come back at 15. How much time do you guys need? Pop, drop it, log it. Stay, do you need any time?
No, Your Honor.
How much time do you guys need? Okay, all right. We'll wait on the PD then. Huh? Oh, okay.
Spanish Code Interpreter back on the line.
All right. We have one more individual. It's 21 CT23 AO. Did Fabiola bond out?
And you know the interpreter, just to confirm, you said the case number is 21 CT23?
AO, yes. 22. Oh, this is 21 on it. It's 22. Somebody wrote the wrong number on here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for catching that mistake.
The defendant can hear me.
All right. Your name?
Rubén Carrasquillo.
Edwin Carrasquillo.
Rubén.
Ruben Carrasquillo.
You were here in case number 22, CT 23 AO on one count of DUI. I'm sorry, one count of driving while license suspended. I reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, and stay your bond at $500, okay? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. And that's it, just one Spanish? One more, or is that it? All right, thank you, Mr. Figueroa.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
Have a good one. All right, your name?
Paul Clark, sir.
All right, what happened to Fabiola
Medical, Your Honor.
Medical? 22 MM 55 AO, temporarily appoint the public defender, waiver roll.
I'll waive the appearance, Your
All
Honor.
right, I'll stay your bond at 250, found probable cause. Hold up.
Fabiola?
Is this the plea? What's your name?
Paul Clark.
21 MO 1447 AO, camping.
It's the
You
first.
have a plea form for him?
Mhm.
All right, if we don't.
I could create one. It's not, it doesn't.
All right. All right, sir, can you raise your right hand?
Yes,
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then your name and date of birth?
Paul Clark, sir, 9/17/61.
All right, so you're actually assigned to me, and your public defender says that you want to resolve your case today with an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and court costs and a filing fee. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
All right. This young lady is also with the public defender's office. She's got a plea form there. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yes, sir.
All right. Could you sign that one for me?
Yes, sir. I'm just ready to go, sir.
All right. Yeah.
It's 27
It's
days.
nice weather out there this week.
I ain't worried about the weather. I just gotta get my life together, quit drinking, and make something of myself. I get tired of coming to jail, Your Honor. I got a good heart. I don't know why I ain't getting no younger. I'm 60 years old, sir. I gotta do something in my life. I can't be doing this anymore. Not real. I appreciate it and thank you.
Yeah, we'll get you out of here, get you on your way. Madam Clerk, how many days does this individual have? I don't want to snatch anything.
28 days, Your Honor.
How many?
28.
28, all right. Thank you.
Your Honor, they could feed better in the jail, sir.
What is?
Just to let you know, they don't feed too good in jail, sir.
They don't?
Food ain't pretty good now. I work out every day. I'm 60 years old. I take care, I work out. If I just quit drinking, I got a drinking problem. I gotta get off the bottle, sir. For real. I'm honest with myself. This little 28 days done a lot for me. I've done a lot of right. I'm going downtown and try to make some money and get over my life.
What'd you have for breakfast today?
We had oatmeal, had a little bit of cereal and a croissant. It wasn't much.
Cereal and croissant?
Yeah. I did 24 years in prison, sir. So it's just kind of hard for me to accept, being around them. I don't like being around inmates, period. Point blank. I did too much time. I'd rather, be by myself when I'm in jail because I can't stand bigger. And this guy be crying about the food, crying about jail, crying about the charge. Don't get in trouble. I was laying down. I was wrong. Man caught me laying down. I laid on the ground. I got up. I gotta wear what's given to me, I just hate I had said 28 days, sir. That's a long time for a city ordinance.
Yeah. You pleading guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I plead no contest, sir.
All right. Sentence you to 28 with credit for 28, adjudicate you guilty, and your costs are reduced down to a judgment for you, okay?
All right, thank you.
All
man.
right, 30 days to appeal. Good luck. Stay off that bottle.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my life together, man.
All right, your name, sir?
Michael Florent.
All right, 22 MM 50 AO, trespass after warning, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause.
And Your Honor, there is an offer from the state of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return. I did speak to Mr. Florent. We went over the rights he would be given us. He understands those rights and would like to accept the state's offer and enter a plea of no contest.
All right, we have a plea form for this gentleman.
Yep, sign right there. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, and then your name and date of birth.
Michael Florent, 11090.
Is this your signature on this form? You read it? Understand it?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, you could be deported for this, you understand?
Yes.
And if you've ever been convicted of a sexually violent or sexually motivated offense, by entering this plea today, it could subject you to involuntary civil confinement. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Guilty or no contest?
Contest.
No contest.
Accept your no contest plea. 2 days?
Yes, Judge.
2 days.
2? Thank you. Adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days. There'll be a no return to, was this 7-Eleven or something?
No, Your Honor, it
East
was.
Mills
East Mill
Apartment.
Apartments, yeah. Can't go back to East Mill Apartments and court costs. I'll give you 360 days to pay, 30 days to appeal. Good luck. Your name?
CJ Flowers.
What happened to Edlin Simmons?
Mental health, Your Honor.
All right, 22 MM 49 AO, temporarily appoint the PD, waiver roll.
Can we roll it till tomorrow, Your Honor?
Roll?
Yes.
Okay. CJ Flowers? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right. 21 MM 605 AW, failure to appear on a criminal mischief charge. According to this, you failed to appear for trial on December 13th of last year. Your bond set at no bond. Do you have the public defender already?
Your Honor, I believe the bond's at 500.
What did I say?
None.
Oh, 500, yeah. I looked right there and I said none. Do you have the public defender or lawyer on the case? Yeah?
No, I asked for one, sir.
All right. Well, we'll get you on. Do we have an offer?
Not at this time, Your
All right.
Honor.
Your name, sir?
Timothy Marino.
All right, 21 MO, 25 AO, open container. We're resolving this one.
Yes, Your Honor.
Be
The-
appointed.
The offer from the state is a withhold of adjudication of guilt, credit time served. I did speak to Mr. Moreno. We went over all the rights we'd be giving up. He understands those rights and would like to enter a plea of no contest.
All right. Adjudication, credit time served. That's your understanding, sir?
Yes.
All right. All right, sir, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, and then your name and date of birth?
Timothy Marino, 32271.
All right, and that's your signature? All right, you pleading guilty or no contest?
No contest.
Accept your no contest plea. It's a withhold?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Withhold 2 days?
Yes.
And your costs reduced down to a judgment for you. 30 days to appeal. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here you go, madam. And then this is for you as well. Thank you. Great job. What happened to Roger Durham Sanders? Bonded. Madam. You're welcome. Great job today. Your name, ma'am?
Shayla Davis.
All right, Ms. Davis, you're ROR'd on an aggravated battery on a pregnant person, 21 CF 14422 AO. You're here today in 22 CF 80 AO, battery on a uniformed licensed security officer, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and state while I'm looking for her sheet here. There she is. All right. Count 1, I'll set at 3,500. Count 2, 150. Count 3, 100. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the Wawa. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. State what's the status of the case that she's ROR'd on.
It still has not been filed, Your Honor.
All right. I'll take no action on that case since the state hasn't made a filing decision. 35. I said.
And Your Honor, the conditions were no contact, no weapons.
Right.
No
And no
return.
return to the Wawa. Your
Right,
name?
thank you.
My name?
Yes.
Jael, the clerk.
All right, sir, 22 CF 85AO. You're here on one count of attempted third-degree murder. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
I'll be good by myself.
Okay, all right. You ever represented yourself before?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you understand that you're facing some serious charges?
Yep.
Okay, all right. All right, review the affidavit, found probable cause, state any input with regards to release?
Your Honor, state we just have you take into account that this is an F2. There were independent witnesses who corroborated the victim's story, as well as the defendant doesn't have any community ties that were able to be verified. And the purpose of bond is to ensure he comes back to court. So state would ask that you take all that into account when setting his bond, as he is otherwise entitled to it.
All right. Sir, understand that as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So that being said, you have an absolute right to remain silent. You can if you want. So at this point, the purpose of the hearing is to determine conditions of your release. Right now, you're at no bond. It's attempted third-degree murder. Is there anything that you want the court to consider in determining conditions of your release, or do you wish to remain silent?
I want to say that I'm innocent. Should I say my side of the story, or?
So I can't give you legal advice. A lawyer would have to do that, but I'll say it one more time, and then you can make whatever choice you want to make. You're here for attempted third-degree murder. It's a pretty serious offense, okay?
Right.
You have an absolute right to remain silent. As a defendant, you can say nothing, and the state has to prove everything. The purpose of today's hearing is to determine conditions of your release. So some of the things, and this is not the entire list that we need to consider, is whether or not you're a danger to society, whether or not we think you're a possible flight risk, you know? And so things that we look at if you're a danger to society is, do you have any kind of violent criminal past? I don't see anything, all right? We look at the nature of the offense. We look at your ties to the community. Do you live here? Do you work here? Do you have friends here? Do you own property here? I mean, is there a reason for you to stay here, or is there a chance that you're just gonna kind of float on somewhere else? So those are some of the things that we look at to determine a bond amount. And that's all we're gonna do today. We're not gonna have any evidence as to whether or not you're guilty or not guilty, or whether or not, you know, you did it or didn't do it. So it's not your time to tell your side of the story. It's your time to give me some information that you think I can use in determining what a reasonable bond is. You know. So is there anything that you want to tell me?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that I'm innocent, that's it.
Okay. All right. I'll set your bond at $15,000. No contact with the alleged victim. Do not ride any Lynx buses. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Okay.
Yeah, but does that mean that I'll stay in jail?
Well, you could post a bond and then get out.
I'm sorry?
You can post a bond and get out.
Right, but I'm innocent. Like, the only reason why this happened.
All right. Good luck.
Fordham's is mental health, Your Honor.
Fordham's is what?
Mental health.
Mental health, 22 CF 77 AO. Temporarily appoint the PD. Waiver roll.
I'll waive, Your Honor.
All right, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause. I'll stay the bonds. What's the status of the case that he's out on bond? Petty theft, 2 priors, 21 CF 14755 AO.
And just some background about that, Your Honor. We have an evaluation pending in February. We believe there's some mental health issues.
It has been filed, Your Honor. It was filed last year.
All right. I'll take no action on that case. Rashawn Green?
Yes, sir.
All right. 21 CF 15939 AO, attempted first-degree murder with a firearm via arrest warrant. According to this, your bond is set at no bond with conditions: no contact with the victim, no return to the scene, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State any input with regards to release.
Your Honor, given that this is a capital offense, state's asking that you stay at the no bond for him to have an Arthur hearing at the trial division at a later time.
All right. Defense?
Your Honor, I would use your discretion to set a bond in this case. However, we are not willing to waive our right to an Arthur hearing.
All right. I reviewed the affidavit, supported the arrest warrant. Previously, I find proof evident presumption great. I'm going to stay as bond at no bond, stay the conditions. But understand I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. They'll set a hearing in front of the trial judge. It's Division 10, and have what I would consider a more meaningful hearing to get you a bond on that case, okay?
I really appreciate that, sir.
All right. Good luck. Your name, sir?
Joshua Gillage.
All right, 2019 CF 11036 AO, you're here on 5 failure to appears on a felony warrant, 3 counts of grand theft, and 2 counts of fraudulent use of personal identification. According to this, you failed to appear for drug court status hearing. Your bond is set at no bond on all those cases. You understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Jenna Haney.
All right, you're out on bond on a battery domestic violence case, 2021 MM 6592 AO. You're also out on bond on a petty theft with 2 priors, 21 CF 14933 AO. You're here today, and 2022 CF 49 AO, possession of fentanyl, possession of cocaine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. I'll stay your bond on count 1. Count 2, I'll reduce to $150. Count 3, $100. State what's the status of the cases that she's out on bond.
They've all been filed, Your Honor.
All right, I'll revoke your releases on those. On the battery domestic, I'll set a new bond of $2,000. And on the petty theft, I'll set a new bond of $2,000 for you, okay? Thank you.
Are there any conditions, Your Honor? No drugs or alcohol on the?
No, I didn't put anything. All right, your name? What is it?
Manel Hugger.
All right. You're here in 2020 CF 15012 AO, 2 failure to appears on 2 counts of attempted burglary of an occupied structure. According to this, your bond is set at $1,000. You failed to appear for a plea hearing on December 16th, and no ROR or PTR, okay?
Can I do a speedy trial?
I'm sorry?
Can I do a speedy trial?
You sure? Talk to your lawyer about it.
I wanted to change my my public defender because he's not doing anything for me.
Listen, I'm not your judge. It's a Division 22. That's a circuit court judge. They're more important than me. They're smarter than me. So you're gonna have to go see that person.
I haven't even seen the judge, bro.
Yeah.
I've been going through this for like a year and a half.
Your Honor, it
All
was
right.
1,000 on each count, correct?
Right. Whatever the paperwork said. All right, your name, sir?
Gary Joseph.
All right, you got a couple cases. The first one, 22 CF 7A possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, and you got a VOP out of Hillsborough County, case number 1514750 AO. On the first case, reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and I'll stay your bond at $1,000. And then on your violation of probation out of Hillsborough County, your bond is set at no bond on that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, are we still appointing the PD on those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So we got the PD appointed to your Hillsborough County case. I guess you're going to reach out to Hillsborough County, see if they can get you a bond on that or figure out what's going to happen, okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Your name, sir? What is it? What happened to Kelly McClellan? Refused? All right. 22 CF 88AO. I'll temporarily appoint the public defender. What do you want to do? Waiver roll?
Waive the appearance.
All right. All right, I reviewed the arrest warrant, and I will appoint the public defender. Count 1, set her bond at $3,500, and count 2, $100. All right, Shai Smith.
Yes, sir.
That's you. Okay. All right, 2022 CF 79AO, grand theft, 3rd degree. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, third degree of a motor vehicle. And appoint the public defender. You also have, is this you as well? Yeah. 22 CT 24AO, 1 count of no valid driver's license. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause on the grand theft. I'll set your bond at $2,500, and on the no valid, I'll set it at $100. All right, your name, sir?
Anthony Stavallo.
All right, sir, it looks like you're out on bond on 2022 CF 47AO. Is that what's happening? No, that's the new case. 2022 CF 47AO, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver with a firearm, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon, resisting officer without violence, possession of oxycodone, possession of MDMA ecstasy, possession of a short-barreled gun, rifle, or machine gun. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, and
Your Honor, state's asking that you stay the bonds currently set and not treat them as subsidiaries.
why?
Due to the amounts found within the vehicle, it was quite lengthy and quite dangerous given the amounts of each individual drug. the amounts of cash, the amounts of drugs, the amounts of ammunition. So state's asking that you stay what's currently.
All right. Defense?
Your Honor, I'm asking that you treat them as subsidiaries. Count one is already set at $10,000. He has 0 failures to appear for court. He's been here for over a year. So he has the community ties, and his last conviction was in 2016.
All right, I'll set count one at $15,000, count two at 150, count three at 100, count four at 150, count five at 150, and count six at $100. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Your name, sir?
Ron Wilkerson.
All right, 22 CF 82 AO, possession of MDMA and introduction of contraband into a county facility. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. You're also here in 2022 CF 81 AO, grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle. Review that affidavit, found probable cause. On the grand theft of a motor vehicle, I'll set your bond at $2,500. And on the possession of MDMA ecstasy, I'll set it at $750 on count one and $150 on count two. Is that everybody, everything? Anything else from the state?
Can they hear me at the jail? ¿Me escuchan? Yes, they can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay, excellent. All right. Mr. Gachara Lopez, you were arrested for the offense of operating a motor vehicle without a license. I do find probable cause, and as I said at the beginning, I have provisionally appointed the public defender to represent you.
Señor López, usted fue arrestado por estar conduciendo sin licencia válida de conducir. He determinado que hay indicios de culpabilidad en este caso y como ya dije anteriormente, se le está designando un defensor público de manera provisional.
If you wish to have court-appointed counsel, you'll need to complete the required affidavit.
Y si quiere entonces que le dejen su defensor público, tiene que llenar una planilla, un affidavit y completarlo.
If you qualify, the court will then appoint appointed counsel unconditionally.
Y si usted reúne los requisitos, se le designará de manera incondicional un abogado.
All right. Officer Hill, is there a history of non-appearance for this individual?
A ver si tiene antecedentes de incomparecencias con este individuo.
He has no prior history, Your Honor.
No tiene antecedentes, su señoría.
State, do you have an offer to resolve this case today?
Fiscal, ¿tiene alguna oferta para resolver este caso el día de hoy?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
En este momento no tengo oferta, su señoría.
All right, I'm going to, based on the circumstances and based on the lack of any prior history, and based on the fact that even though there's no prior history, Mr. Gachard doesn't qualify for pretrial release, I'm going to reduce bond to ROR.
Entonces, tomando en cuenta las circunstancias y el hecho de que no tiene ningún tipo de antecedente, pero que tampoco califica por libertad provisional, lo que voy a hacer es que le voy a reducir para que pueda salir con libertad bajo palabra.
Sir, you're going to need to make sure that you provide the clerk of court with an address where you can receive notice by mail.
Así que se tendrá que asegurarse de que la secretaría tenga la dirección suya para que usted pueda recibir las notificaciones por correspondencia.
You can also monitor your case on the clerk of court's website.
Y también usted por su cuenta puede monitorear cómo va su caso en la página de internet de la Secretaría del Juzgado.
If you fail to appear at required court dates, you could be arrested and held without bond.
Y si usted no comparece a alguna de las citas judiciales, usted podría ser arrestado y podría quedar arrestado sin que le den ninguna fianza.
You have any questions, sir?
Señor, ¿tiene alguna pregunta? Yeah, the question is, do I have a bond or?
You're being released without a monetary bond, but you're being released. But you must appear at all court dates or you might be held without a bond.
No, usted se le está dando libertad. A usted se le está poniendo en libertad. Pero usted tiene que comparecer a las próximas citas judiciales que le van a informar, porque si no comparece a las citas, lo van a dejar otra vez adentro y sin fianza. Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the interpreter couldn't find a case number for Mr. Warcha.
Yeah, it's 22 CT 11.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you need me to call those, or maybe I called it before you were on? That's probably what I did. I apologize.
No problem at all, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Then our next case will be 22 CF 30, Jean-Paul Herrera Tefer.
Your Honor, there will be a PC argument on this case.
Okay. Sir, you were arrested for the charges of false imprisonment, kidnapping, and battery.
Señor, usted lo arrestaron por los cargos de detención ilegal, secuestro y agresión física.
All right, and let's have your argument, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor.
El argumento.
Count 2 of kidnapping, statute 78701 states that kidnapping means forcibly, secretly, or by threat confining, abducting, or imprisoning another against his or her will with the intent to hold someone for ransom or reward.
Señoría, si vamos con los estatutos, voy a entonces a presentar argumento en cuanto al cargo de secuestro, según el estatuto 787.01, que se trata de cuando una persona es retenida de manera forzosa, de manera secreta, bajo amenaza, se le mantiene alguna prisión en contra de la voluntad y cuya intención es pedir un rescate por esa persona, según la definición.
Or as a shield or a hostage, or to commit or facilitate a felony, to inflict bodily harm upon or terrorize the victim or another person, or to interfere with the performance of any governmental or political function.
O también tener una persona, tenerla retenida, tenerla bajo terror para que se facilite entonces la comisión de un delito, bien sea la víctima o otra persona, o ir en contra de la acción de algún organismo del gobierno.
It doesn't appear here that within the charging affidavit, the intent element of kidnapping has been met with any of the circumstances described here.
Entonces, si aquí no aparece, según el documento que tenemos acá del arresto, el tipo de las intenciones que estarían bajo la definición de secuestro, tomando en cuenta las circunstancias del caso.
Mr. Interpreter, you're breaking up. I'm not able to hear you completely. Are you all hearing well at the jail?
¿Están escuchando en la cárcel?
I saw an inmate shake the head negatively.
Yes, sí,
Okay.
Yes,
escuché.
I heard.
Okay, good enough. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Interpreter.
No problem, Your Honor.
Because of the higher standard of intent for the kidnapping charge, it doesn't appear that that's present within the charging affidavit.
Y tomando en cuenta que el estandarte tiene que ser mayor en la intención, no me parece aquí, según el documento de la affidavit, que corresponde con el cargo de secuestro.
All right, State, do you want to address that?
Fiscalía, ¿qué decir? Sí, su señoría.
It's the state's position that the defendant in this case did inflict bodily harm upon or to terrorize the victim in this case.
Sí, su señoría, sí, la visión de la fiscalía es que el acusado sí le causó sufrimiento o dolor físico, terrorizó a la víctima del caso.
As part of the charging affidavit, the victim explained she told the defendant she did not want to go with him.
Según el affidavit, la víctima explicó que ella no se quería ir con él.
She tried to get out of the car.
Ella trató de salirse del vehículo.
However, the defendant grabbed her arm and prevented her from getting out against her will.
Sin embargo, el acusado la agarró por el brazo y le impidió que ella se fuera.
So the defendant did terrorize the victim
Así que el acusado sí terrorizó, sí infundió terror en la víctima,
in trying to control her being able to exit the vehicle against her will.
tratando de controlar e impedir que ella saliera del vehículo en contra de la voluntad de ella.
So it's the state's position that the kidnapping charge has met its elements.
Así que la posición de la fiscalía es que hay suficientes elementos para el cargo de secuestro.
All right, let me take a look here at the affidavit again, real quick.
Déjeme que le voy a dar un vistazo aquí al affidavit una vez más.
All right, do you have any other argument, Ms. Smith?
¿Algún otro argumento, señora Smith?
Your Honor, just that it doesn't say that he physically caused any bodily harm to her. It just says that he grabbed her by the arm. And she did willingly get into the vehicle with him.
Su señoría, que realmente aquí no dice nada que ella haya sufrido alguna lesión física, únicamente que la agarró por el brazo, pero ella de su propia voluntad se fue con él.
We will likely concede that there is probable cause for the lesser included of false imprisonment, but that is because it does not include the intent provisions.
Así que nosotros sí vamos a aceptar pues que haya suficiente indicio de culpabilidad en el cargo menos grave, que es el de detención ilegal, pero esta no realmente incluye las provisiones de la intención que habría un secuestro.
All right, I think Ms. Smith's arguments are well-founded with regard to kidnapping. There's
Creo que la señora
nothing-
Smith,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Interpreter.
creo que la señora Smith sí tiene un buen fundamento en relación a los cargos de secuestro.
There's nothing in the affidavit that indicates that there was an intent to terrorize when the incident began.
Y tampoco dice que haya intención de infundir terror cuando comenzó el incidente.
It looks like the intent was to get the alleged victim terminated from her employment.
Parece que la intención era que hacer que la víctima terminara con su empleo.
The other items that, or the other offenses that there is probable cause for are included here for the false imprisonment and battery charges.
En cuanto a los otros elementos, si tiene suficiente sustento en el indicio de culpabilidad, que incluyen la detención ilegal y también los cargos por agresión física.
So I do find probable cause for false imprisonment and battery. I do not find probable cause for kidnapping.
Así que sí encuentro que hay indicio de culpabilidad en la detención ilegal y la agresión física, pero veo que no hay indicio de culpabilidad en cuanto al cargo de secuestro.
So on the kidnapping charge, he will be released ROR.
Entonces se le dará libertad bajo palabra en cuanto al cargo de secuestro.
On the false imprisonment charge, there will be a bond in the amount of $2,500.
En cuanto al cargo de detención ilegal, habrá una fianza por la cantidad de $2,500.
On the battery charge, there will be a bond of $150.
Y en cuanto al cargo de agresión física, habrá una fianza de $150.
Conditions of the bond will be no contact with the alleged victim.
Como condición de esta libertad bajo fianza, se les prohibirá contacto con la presunta víctima.
There may not possess any weapons or firearms.
Se les prohíbe el porte y uso de armas, incluyendo armas de fuego.
And, sir, you're on probation in Orange County in 2016 CF 1426.
Señor, usted está bajo régimen de prueba con el condado de Orange, en el caso 2016 CF 1426.
The probable cause in this case constitutes a violation of probation.
Así que el indicio de culpabilidad que se ha determinado en este caso constituye una violación al régimen de prueba.
So I will make an on-view finding of violation of probation and order that you be held without bond because you are a violent felony offender of special concern.
Y entonces lo que voy a hacer es que voy a registrarlo aquí a la vista de que está en violación del régimen de prueba, no concediéndosele fianza y tomando en cuenta que es una persona preocupante.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Smith, that I need to address?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
All right. Thank
No hay la
you.
defensa.
State anything, Ms. Aguilera?
Fiscalía, señor.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right, our next case will be 2021 CT 864. This is Juan Esteban Cardenas Yanez.
He's present and approaching, Your Honor.
Right. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you were arrested for alleged violation of probation with a driving offense. Judge Epperson signed the warrant for your arrest and set your bond at $0. So your attorney will need to address your terms of release to Judge Epperson.
Your Honor, Lizette Dominguez on behalf of the defendant. If we may just present some brief argument, initially we had filed the motion to quash the warrant. The state had not opposed that. As of now, there is an offer that Mr. Cardenas Yanez would like to accept. He's been offered reinstatement as to this charge. We would respectfully be requesting that Your Honor consider a bond or an ROR. He would report to probation as soon as he's released or within 24 hours of his release, Your Honor, so that we may set him for a plea date in front of his judge or a reasonable bond, Your Honor. He's been keeping up with his obligations with probation. About 2-3 months ago, he made a payment of $966, and the only reason that he violated is in fact a new second-degree misdemeanor of driving with a suspended license in Polk County, Your Honor, which he was arrested, posted a bond, and it is here, Your Honor.
And let me take a look real quick at the case. Folks on probation really shouldn't be driving without a license. It just leads to avoidable problems. Sir, do you understand English? I'm seeing that your plea form was in Spanish. Do you understand English?
Actually, I understand.
Okay. Where does he stand on his community service?
That I do not know, but I can ask Mr. Cardenas, had you started your community service, or how many?
I already completed my community service, 50 hours.
Okay. And let's see, your plea was in June. So you've done about 6 months. How long have you, when were you arrested in Polk?
What was it?
When were you arrested in Polk County?
It was on December 6th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Here's the deal. I'm sympathetic to the circumstances, but Judge Epperson has denied your motion on December 20th to set aside the warrant, convert to a notice to appear, and set the case on the docket. So I'm going to respectfully decline to overrule him. Had that not been in the file, I probably would have been amenable to something. So I'm going to deny your request and order that the bond remain at 0, and ask you to take that up with Judge Epperson as soon as possible.
Yes, and is Your Honor able to set that for any status for the judge, or do we have to?
I don't believe so. I think it's on demand, isn't it?
Well, he has BOP arraignment on the 14th, next Thursday.
I have no problem with you filing a motion and representing in the motion what I said on the record. Whether that has any weight with what Judge Epperson might do, I don't know. But
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, case number 2018 CF 2807, Josiane Germain.
She is present and approaching, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. I believe you have a private attorney, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to provisionally appoint the Office of Public Defender for Ms. Germain because she is represented by private counsel. Ma'am, you were arrested for violation of probation allegations regarding conditions 1, 3, and 5. There was probable cause for that. I issued the bond, and you're being held on 0 bond. Okay, and this, for the record, is case number 2018 CF 2807, if I did not announce that earlier. All right, thank you, ma'am. The next case will be 2019 CT 3862 State versus Norris Palmer.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
Afternoon, Mr. Palmer.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you were arrested on a warrant issued by Judge Arrendis for failure to appear at a violation of probation arraignment. I'm going to Judge Arrendis set your bond at 0, so I'm going to stay that amount. Your attorney will need to take up your case in terms of release with the division judge, which I believe is now Judge Sanders. Okay? I have provisionally appointed the public defender's office. If you want court-appointed counsel, you'll need to complete the financial affidavit.
Sir, could I say something?
I would suggest you talk to the public defender because we're being recorded and what you say could be used against you. All right, but there's nothing I can do today. Judge Arendis set your bond at 0. And it. All right, our next cases will be Mr. Keith Rogers, 2021 CF
He is present and approaching, Your Honor.
1345, 3752, 3753, 3756, and 3760. Mr. Rogers, you do not qualify for pretrial release. Officer Hill, what is the legal constraint?
The failure to appear, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, sir. In case number 2021 CF 3753, you were arrested for the charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Your bond in that case is $15,000. Conditions of the bond will be no possession of firearms or other weapons and no contact with the alleged victim. There is probable cause as found by the judge who issued the warrant. In case number 2021 CF 3752, you were charged with fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated. There is probable cause as established by the judge who issued the warrant. I'm going to set your bond in that case at $10,000 based on the circumstances of this and the other cases. All right, in case number 2021 CF 3756, you're arrested for fleeing, attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated. Again, there's probable cause as found by the judge who issued the arrest warrant. And again, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000 based on the circumstances of that case and the associated cases or the other cases. Case number 2021 CF 3760, you were arrested for fleeing, attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated. Again, there's probable cause based on the finding of the judge who issued the warrant. And again, your bond on this case is going to be $10,000.
Why is the bond going up higher?
Because the judge decided that that's what was necessary after considering the facts of the cases and the factors set out in the statute.
How is there 3 in elude on one day?
All right, sir. I'm not going to argue, or we can have some discussions about contempt of court, and you can have a separate 6-month sentence, okay? All right, then 2021 CF 1345, you were arrested for failure to appear for jury trial. Judge Karsten set your bond there for $2,000 on count 1 and $500 on count 2. All right. The Public Defender's Office has been provisionally appointed to represent you on each of the cases, okay? You'll need to complete the financial affidavit if you wish to have court-appointed counsel. All right, thank you, sir. All right, then the next case is 2017 CF 1501, and this is Angel Alberto Rojas.
Approaching, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. So you were arrested on a warrant issued by Judge Tynan quite a while back. Looks like it was issued in 2017. Judge Tynan found that you failed to appear for a pretrial conference and set your bond in the amount of $10,000 on count 1 and $2,000 on count 2. Okay? Thank you, sir. Our next case is 2022 CF 32, Bradley Hunter.
He bonded.
Okay, thank you. 2022 CF 33, Ravindra Lockman.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
Afternoon, sir. So you were arrested on the charges of misdemeanor battery, domestic violence, and hindering, delaying, or preventing communication to law enforcement. I reviewed the affidavit, and I do find probable cause. I don't, we don't have anyone here for that case, do we? Deputies? All right. Okay, so I don't have anyone here to testify about concerns or lack of concerns about contact, sir. So what I'm going to do, you do qualify for PTR with a bond. Does Mr. Lockman have any priors, Officer Hill?
No, Your Honor, he has no prior history.
Okay. Sir, if I order that you may not return to the residence and must maintain a separate residence while this case is pending and until the division judge can hear your case, do you have a place to stay? I'm sorry? I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't go back home?
That's what I'm asking you. Where are you going to be able to stay?
I'm gonna have to call my dad.
Does he live here or somewhere else?
He lives not around where I live right now.
He lives around where you live now? How close?
Not like 2 minutes.
Okay. Is it within 500 feet of your home?
No, like about a mile, less than 2 miles.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to set your bond on the felony charge at $1,000. I'm going to set your bond on the battery charge at $100. I'm going to order as conditions of bond pretrial release conditions. Also, you may not have any contact with the alleged victim. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. I will allow you to return to the residence one time with law enforcement to obtain any personal belongings. And the no contact and the separate, I'm going to order that you maintain the separate residence. And all that will be in place until the case is resolved or until the division judge is able to address your case, okay? Okay, why don't you talk to your lawyer before you ask me a question?
Judge, for the record, was $100 in count 1 and $1,000 in count 2.
Correct.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that all right? You're able to answer his question?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Next case would be 2022 MM25, Diego Llanos Euron. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me how to pronounce your last name correctly. Tell me, and I'm not able to hear you real well, but tell me how to pronounce your last name correctly.
Oh, I can hear you. What's that? What's that?
How do you pronounce your last name?
Janos.
Jano. Okay, you pronounce it more with the J than the ya.
Yeah.
And Janos and then Giron. How do you pronounce that?
Janos is L-L-A-N-O-S.
Yeah. In West Texas, we pronounce it Llano. I don't know why, but that's how we pronounce it. The Giron, how do you pronounce that?
With the G, no, with the Y.
The second last name.
Yeah, your second last name, how do you pronounce that?
Llanos.
Yeah. All right. Sir, you were arrested for misdemeanor battery. I reviewed the affidavit, and I do find probable cause. We have a witness here in the courtroom to address your case, sir. You do qualify for pretrial release with a bond, and I need to take testimony from the witness before I determine conditions of release. Raise your right hand to be sworn, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to testify the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, state your name and spell it for the record, please. We're being recorded by a court reporter.
Viviana Vergara.
Okay? And spell your name, please.
Viviana.
Okay?
Last name Vergara.
Right? And what would you like for me to know and consider with regard to Mr. Llanos and terms of release?
You can come back to the house, contact. I don't have any other concerns. I'm not afraid of him at this point.
All right. That doesn't seem to be what you told law enforcement.
At the time, I was very scared.
Okay.
And that is why I did what I did, because it was the first time that this happened. So if you keep allowing this to happen every time, that's when things get complicated.
Right. Again, that's not what you told the officers. Who is this lady with you here today?
That's my mother-in-law.
Okay. Are you employed outside the home, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
Are you employed outside the home?
No, I work in my home.
Okay.
Remote.
Remotely you work?
Yeah.
All right. Are you able to support yourself?
Yes. I want him to be able to be with his children.
How old are your children?
9 and 3.
And they're your children as well?
Yes, our children.
Okay. I have some concerns based on what I'm reading and based on what I'm seeing. State, do you have any questions?
Just one, Your Honor. Ms. Vergara? Ms. Vergara. If something like this were to happen again, would you contact law enforcement?
I will.
Further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions?
I wasn't able to hear the witness answer the last question.
She said she would.
She would? Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Llanos, if I allow you to have a non-hostile contact for purposes of coordinating visitation with your children, but if I do not allow you to return to the home, where would you be able to live?
At my mother's house.
And how far away does your mother live from where you live?
Like 5 miles, 10 miles.
Okay. And Officer Hill, does Mr. Llanos have any history?
He has no priors, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. This is a little bit of a complicated situation, but I do have some concerns. But I also understand that Mr. Llanos has no prior history. He does qualify for pretrial release with a bond. So what I'm going to do, sir, based on my concerns, I'm going to grant a low bond of $500. The conditions of bond are going to be that you have only non-hostile contact with the alleged victim, Ms. Vergara, regarding your children. But I'm going to order that you maintain a separate residence. I'm going to order that you have no weapons or firearms, and you may not possess them. Your bond will be subject to PTR conditions. And I think what I will do is I'm going to order that the communication regarding child visitation and things of that sort be through a third party. So that's how the non-hostile contact will be facilitated. I think it's going to be important for everybody to have a cooling off period and time to reflect. Okay, you may return to your home to get some personal belongings one time with law enforcement. All right, Ms. Smith, is there anything else you'd like me to address?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Aguilera, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, then the next case is 2022 CF 35, and that will be Mirsad Miratovic.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you were arrested on the charges of robbery, sudden snatching, a third-degree felony, and a first-degree misdemeanor of sexually cyber harassing another individual. I've reviewed the affidavit of arrest. I do find probable cause. You do not qualify for pretrial release based on the nature of the alleged offenses. On count one, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 where it is now. You don't have a bond on count two. So, and I don't have anyone here to testify today. Based on the nature of that charge, and after considering the actual circumstances and the terms of the bond statute, I'm going to set your bond on count two at $10,000. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the alleged victim and that you abstain from all social media activity. All right. State, are there any other conditions that you would like me to consider?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, anything the defense would like for me to consider?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, then in case number 2022 MM27, Jaylene Rosario Perez. Morning, ma'am. You were, or afternoon rather, you were arrested on the charge of misdemeanor battery. I reviewed the affidavit of arrest. I do find probable cause. You're entitled to pretrial release conditions with the bond. I don't have anyone here to testify. I'm familiar with the circumstances of the alleged offense. And I understand what the circumstances were when you threw the frozen loaf of garlic bread. So that said, do you have a place to live while this case is pending if I order that you not return to the home?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Who would that be with, or where would that be?
It'd either be with my mom or my sister.
Okay. And how old is your daughter? 10 years old, is that right?
Yes.
Do you have any other children?
My son,
How old is he?
he's 11.
All right. And would they be living with you at your sister or your mom's?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Because of the nature of the case, because it qualifies technically as a domestic violence episode, and because there's no one here to testify, I'm going to set bond at $100 with pretrial release conditions. I'm going to order that you maintain a separate residence while the case is pending. You may return one time with law enforcement to get personal effects. You may have non-hostile contact through a third party for purposes of child custody and child visitation. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Right, state anything else that you would like for me to consider?
Your Honor.
All right, defense?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Just for clarification, so that was non-hostile
Through a
contact
third
with the
party.
victim?
Non-hostile with the victim through a third party for purposes of child custody and child visitation. Okay, the next case, Derek Willoughby, 2022 CF 36. Officer Hill, I have a question. Does Mr. Willoughby have a history of failure to appear?
He has a failure to appear in October 2017. He has 2 failure to appears in November 2018. And a failure to appear in September 2018 out of Pinellas County.
Mr. Willoughby, good afternoon, sir. Sir, you were arrested on the charges of possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the affidavit, and based on the affidavit of arrest, I do find probable cause. Based on the circumstances, I'm going to reduce your bond. Ms. Smith, do you want to visit with him quickly and then advise me what you would recommend on bond?
Yes, Your Honor, one moment. Yes, Your Honor, I've had a moment to speak with Mr. Willoughby, and because of his transient situation and his ability to pay bond here, were bond to be set more than $100 per charge, it would probably hold him in incarceration indefinitely until this could be sorted out.
All right, so based on the circumstances, and that's what's driving my consideration here more than anything, also the nature of the charges. I I'm going to reduce the bond to $100 on count 1 and ROR on count 2. And I am not going to revoke bond on your other cases, Mr. Willoughby. I normally would, but again, I'm making that decision based on the circumstances, okay? Anything else, Ms. Smith, I need to address?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
All right, State.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. 2022 MM 28, Kristen Weiss.
And Your Honor, the victim, the alleged victim on this case called back and is requesting no contact.
Okay. I have a question. The cover sheet says she's out on bond, but it doesn't give me any other indication.
It is not an Osceola County case, and we understand that you do not have jurisdiction over that. It just is a factor that she does not qualify for PTR.
Okay. And what jurisdiction is it from?
Brevard County.
Okay. Ms. Weiss, you were arrested on the charge of battery, and I believe based on the nature of the charge, it would qualify as a domestic violence battery. Officer Hill, you said the alleged victim does not want contact, but the arrest affidavit also says the alleged victim does not wish to press charges. Did you get?
That's correct. The alleged victim is the mother, and she is not wishing to press charges, but she is just wishing for no contact at this time.
All right. All right, so I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find probable cause. You were arrested, Ms. White, I think I told you, for the charge of battery, and it would qualify as domestic violence battery. Based on the circumstances that I've read and based on the fact that no one is here to testify, I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the alleged victim, that you maintain a separate residence. If you have belongings there, you can go one time with law enforcement to obtain personal belongings. Anything further, State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Weiss. Is Mr. Berry there today, 2022 CF6?
He is, Your Honor. He's present and approaching.
Okay. I actually don't think I intended to redo this case, but you were going to see if you could get some more information for future.
The reason why we brought it back in front of you is because we are asking that you remove the conditional release to Park Place. He did initially come in on a Baker Act. However, he was evaluated by our mental health staff and the psychiatrist, and he was found not to meet the criteria for a Baker Act, and this was on January 2nd. So if we could just remove that verbiage and he would be, have the bond still in place.
All right, let me take a look again.
And I just want to state on the record, we are not able to release somebody to Park Place with a hold to return, as it is an unsecured facility. They do not place holds, and we do not have the manpower to, they're not able to send a man over there to ensure that he returns upon his release from Park Place.
All right, remind me of the circumstance. There was was there a Baker Act hold for him?
There was not a Baker Act hold. I believe the public defender was not fully aware of the situation. Normally, the mental health director at the jail works closely with pretrial release and will notify us when there is a Baker Act hold on an individual, and they are wanting to Baker Act that person. At that time, we would notify the judge, and the only way to be able to do that would be an ROR directly to Park Place.
Right.
However, in this situation, there was never a hold placed because he was evaluated on the 2nd and was deemed not to meet the criteria for Baker Act. So, and I was not informed of any Baker Act holds on this individual, so I'm not sure where the public defender received his information at yesterday.
Okay. So,
Your Honor, if I may.
yes.
I was the public defender who was working here on Sunday, January 2nd, when Mr. Berry was supposed to be here for his first initial appearance. And within the affidavit, it says that he was Baker acted due to being without care or treatment. I did attempt to meet with Mr. Berry because jail personnel said that he could not be brought down on the 2nd for initial appearances, and I was not allowed onto into that pod because of the severity of his mental condition at that time on the 2nd. It wasn't until yesterday that we met initially with Mr. Berry, where we did ask for one ROR based on probable cause issues within the charging affidavit. And then it was determined that instead of, I'm not sure that a probable cause determination was made on the charging affidavit because there were issues because it's an aggravated battery on a person which requires a great bodily harm, permanent disability or permanent disfigurement. That doesn't appear to be met within the affidavit. Also, this particular charge is for a person 65 years or older, and it doesn't give an age within the arrest affidavit. And that was all gone over yesterday, but it was determined at yesterday's hearing that he would be placed on conditional release to Park Place for mental health treatment because he does have mental health issues that would be better served in a healthcare facility as opposed to the Osceola County Jail.
Right.
And at this time, Park Place is not willing to accept him.
And Dr. Skaczynski did evaluate him on January 2nd and did find that he does not meet criteria and can be treated at the jail.
Then the defense would again argue that there was no probable cause within the arrest affidavit and ask for ROR.
So I addressed this yesterday, and I believe we all agreed that there was probable cause for battery. And I believe maybe even I found for aggravated battery. The state agreed that there was no probable cause for the person over the age of 65 in the affidavit.
I was here yesterday, sitting with Mr. Mancini, and I remember the state agreeing that they believed there was probable cause for a domestic battery, but not aggravated battery of a person over 65.
Okay, and that may be correct. I remember they stipulated that there was no probable cause for some elements.
Defense is asking for ROR on the affidavit as charged, which at this time is still the aggravated battery on a person 65 years or older.
Where is Mr. Berry going to be living because he can't go back to his residence?
Mr. Berry has indicated that he does get a check for SSI, and he could get a hotel or stay in a facility like that until he is able to get somewhere to live permanently.
I set the bond yesterday at $5,000. Under the circumstances, I'm going to stay the bond at $5,000, and I do find probable cause for a domestic battery charge. I will rescind, based on the evaluation performed by Dr. Skaczynski, I will rescind the order that Mr. Berry be conditionally released to Park Place. And the conditions announced yesterday will remain, which are no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the residence, may return one time with law enforcement to retrieve belongings. I think implicit within that is maintaining a separate residence, and Mr. Berry may not possess any weapons or firearms.
Your Honor, defense would ask for a lower monetary bond with this. He is on Social Security and is not in a place where he could get, where he would be able to keep and maintain employment, and $5,000 bond is almost insurmountable for him.
That's $500 payment. That's not a huge amount.
But his SSI is monthly is, that would be just over half of that. So if he were also required to, obtain lodging and take care of himself at the same time, it would quite possibly put him on the streets, Your Honor.
All right, I'm sympathetic to that. On the basis of the circumstances, I'll reduce the amount to $2,500 with the same conditions that I've announced.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, let's see. That brings us to 22 CF02, Amber Fountain. Is Ms. Fountain there today?
No, Your Honor, she is still in the hospital. If we could get a 24-hour reset from the time that she is released.
Madam Clerk, are you able to do that? We don't, and we've reset it twice, but,
Within 24 hours release. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll put it in the order.
all right, we'll reset it 24 hours from her release.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and then the last cases will be Angel, Maldonado, Sierra, 2021 CF 3764 and 3765. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, in case number 3764, you were arrested on the charge of retail theft with two or more theft convictions. And in case number 3765, you were arrested for theft with 2 prior theft convictions and possession of drug paraphernalia. I've reviewed the affidavits of arrest. There is probable cause. Your bond in case number 3764 is set at $1,000. Your bond in case number 3765 is $1,000 on count 1, and I'm going to reduce bond on count 2 to 100. No, I'm going to actually reduce that to an ROR on count 2. You may not return to the locations of the alleged offenses. May not possess or use any drugs or narcotics without a valid prescription. And that is on the bonds on both cases. Ms. Smith, anything further on those cases?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Sayedaro?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, I believe that concludes the docket for today. Anyone have any other business?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Okay,
From
thank
the
you.
state.
You all have a great day as well. Thanks, Officer Hill.